Amid a frozen world, where life survives only through absolute adaptation, there once appeared a creature bearing perfect beauty, a being whose mere form was enough to make nature pay a price. From within the dense white mist of the Ice Age, a colossal shadow moved. At first, we do not see the body. We do not see the head. What appears first are two immense masses spreading across the sky. They resemble two sails turned to stone, an ancient tree canopy torn up by the roots, or the skeletal frame of an extinct dragon. As the creature takes another step forward, its full shape is revealed. It is a giant elk. The giant elk is unlike any deer species still in existence. Shoulder height, nearly 2 meters. When it raises its head, taller than an adult human standing on horseback, a massive body, clearly muscular, yet not crude. Long, powerful legs, adapted to deep snow and thawing mud. A thick, dark coat, absorbing every rare ray of sunlight. But all of that is merely secondary. Because the world's attention is drawn entirely to what rises above its head, these are not sharp antlers, not curved antlers, not weapons meant to pierce. The antlers of the giant elk are two enormous plates of bone, flat and broad, spreading outward like the wings of an eagle. Maximum span, 3.6 meters. Weight, nearly 40 kilograms. The largest in the entire history of deer that have ever existed. No species, before or after, ever reached such dimensions. Each branch of the antlers fans out like fossilized tree limbs, the surface rough, the edges sharp, yet not pointed. A design ill-suited for survival combat, but perfect for display. And the most astonishing fact? Each year, the elk must completely regenerate this entire pair of antlers from scratch. Those antlers contain calcium, protein, and energy. A massive portion of its living resources is poured into two slabs of bone useless for fleeing or hunting. In nature, everything that exists must have a reason. But these antlers do not help it run faster. They do not help it hunt. They do not help it escape. So why did they grow to such an irrational size? The answer does not lie in survival. It lies in sexual selection. Females chose males with larger antlers. Males with larger antlers passed on their genes. Over tens of thousands of years, a silent race unfolded. Bigger antlers, wider, heavier, until that beauty exceeded the limits the environment could tolerate. The giant elk's neck became unusually thick and powerful. Its shoulder spine developed massively to bear the weight. But no matter how strong it grew, the body's center of balance was broken. All it took was slippery ground, deep snow, or antlers locked together during mating. One fall could be a death sentence. Nature created a creature too magnificent to be agile, too beautiful to endure. The giant elk could survive only in open spaces. Cold steppes, glacial grasslands, sparse forest edges. Let the forests grow denser for just a few generations, and these antlers would become a curse. And when the world changes, the creatures bound to the old world are the first to vanish. The giant elk did not go extinct because it was weak, not because it lacked strength, not because it failed to adapt. It disappeared because it went too far down the path of perfection. Those magnificent antlers are not merely the symbol of a species, they are a warning from evolution. The late summer wind stretches across the frozen steppe. The grass has faded to a pale gray. The ground is dry, cracked, carrying the scent of melting snow left behind from distant ice fields. Imprinted deep into the earth are massive footprints, traces of creatures bearing upon their heads the greatest burden ever known in the history of deer. From afar, a male elk steps forward. Its antlers spread outward like two torn fragments of sky. Each step causes the entire upper body to sway slightly, as if gravity itself were testing its balance. The low sun glances across the antler's surface, revealing every ridge of bone, every branching tine like the fossilized limbs of an ancient tree. It does not know that it is the product of a choice made over tens of thousands of years. It knows only one thing: the mating season has arrived. In the world of the giant elk, it is not the longest lived who are chosen, but those who make the strongest impression. The females stand scattered across the grassland, watching in silence. They do not measure, they do not calculate, but instinct has been programmed long ago. Wider antlers, greater symmetry, greater height, these mean strength, good genes, and a higher chance of survival for future offspring. And so the race begins. No one gives the command. No one sets the rules. Yet every male understands: if your antlers are smaller, you will be forgotten. In the early years, the differences are slight. Just a few centimeters each generation. Just one extra branching tine. Just a slightly broader spread. But evolution does not know how to stop. Males with larger antlers mate more often. Their offspring grow up carrying the seeds of even more extreme antlers. Weaker individuals die, quietly slipping out of the gene pool. Across thousands of winters, beauty is pushed beyond the bounds of safety. No one notices when it happens. There is no moment of alarm. Only antlers growing heavier with each passing age. The mating season turns the steppe into a bloodless battlefield. Two males face each other. They lower their heads. Antler meets antler. There is no lethal thrust, no pursuit, only weight against weight. Bone pressing bone, muscles locked tight, the ground beneath their hooves churned into ruin. The collision resounds deep and dry, like boulders smashing together in the cold wind. The weaker one is forced back. The stronger one holds his ground. But the cost of victory is never cheap. Many do not die in the fight. They die afterward. A single slip on icy mud, antlers tangled too tightly with an opponent's, a moment when they cannot rise again, their necks pushed beyond endurance. Fossils today tell these silent stories. Skeletons lying on their sides, two sets of antlers intertwined as if still locked in combat. No bite marks, no claw scars. They were not hunted. They collapsed under their own weight. Each year, when winter retreats, the giant elk must perform something extraordinary: regrow its entire set of antlers. Calcium is drawn from the bones. Nutrients are diverted upward. That massive body enters spring in a state close to exhaustion. If the grass grows thick enough, if the summer lasts long enough, if the weather remains stable, they survive. But the Ice Age is not always kind. Some years, summer is so short that grass never fully returns. Some years, the ice melts late, leaving the soil wet, cold, and poor in nutrients. In those years, the antlers are not merely a burden, they are a sentence. Those unable to sustain them will grow smaller antlers, be excluded from mating, or die before autumn arrives. Evolution shows no mercy. Meanwhile, the world itself begins to change. The ice retreats slowly. Summers grow wetter. Trees rise taller and denser. The open lands once ruled by the giant elk begin to be claimed by forests. Young trunks emerge relentlessly, narrowing inch by inch the space available for those colossal antlers. The giant elk does not perceive the danger. They continue the race, continue to display, continue to choose the one with the largest antlers. Even as their habitat withdraws step by step, evolution needs time to correct its mistakes. But time does not stand with creatures who carry the sky upon their heads. The giant elk was not destroyed by enemies. It was defeated by an idea that beauty always equals success. The antlers that once lifted them to the pinnacle of power on the steppe, and those same antlers, when the world changed, became a burden that could never be shed.